Once there was a box, and inside the box was Tracy. Tracy did not quite remember getting into the box. The walls just started to slowly fade into existence over a period of time, and then, one day, Tracy woke up and there was the box, fully formed. The box had four walls and a floor, but no top. If one looked up, one could see out of the box and the sky. But Tracy did not like to look up. It seemed painful to do so. The box was a bit small and confining. It did not let one grow, but Tracy had found a way to be comfortable in it and so stayed there. After all, leaving the box would be worse than staying in it, wouldn't it? If one left, one might end up in another box, but a much worse one. Or perhaps one would not end up in any box at all. Now, that might be fine for some people to go through their lives without ever getting into a box. But not. Tracy had always looked forward to the day a box would appear. A good box. One that was an easy fit and very enjoyable. This box did not seem to truly be the box that Tracy had dreamed of, but it was a box. It had become something familiar, something that gave a small feeling of security and routine. Sometimes relatives and friends would come by. They would tell Tracy to get out of the box, that the box was too confining. The box was not good enough. It was dangerous to stay in a box like that. And they would always make Tracy mad. It's my judgment, Tracy would seethe. They think I cannot make my own decisions. They just do not understand. True, the box is not the greatest fit, but it is my box. They are probably jealous and do not want me to be happy. Why must they try to take away everything I have? One day an old person walked by, rested on a cane, and looked at Tracy. I see you are in a box, the person said. Yes, what's it to you? Tracy answered haughtily. Nothing really, I guess. It just reminded me of a time when I was young and in a box like that. I had not planned on being in a box. In fact, I had always thought of myself as a person who would never be confined to any box. But there I was one day. At first, I never told anybody about my box, but over time it came out. Some people congratulated me to have a box, any box. Others told me it was not a good fit. Oh, how they angered me. After all, what did they know? Exactly, Tracy agreed. Yes, what did they know? What did they know that I didn't? I thought about it long and hard. These were people who throughout my life had always been there, protecting me, teaching me. Why would they change so drastically now? Why would someone be jealous at my happiness if, up till then, that person had been trying to make sure I was always happy? Had they not always done what they thought I was a baby? Well, I suppose so, thought Tracy. Then I thought, well, yes, that was who they were, but now I was in something they could not understand. They were old and I was young, and so they could not feel or fathom what was inside me. I could not have said it better, Tracy agreed again. But wait, they were old, which meant they had once been young, like me. And being young, they must have had many of the same experiences that I was now having. When I was told not to touch fire, was it because they could not understand what would happen, or because they understood it too well and were trying to save me the pain? I realized I was surrounded by people who had been in their own boxes throughout their lives and were looking on me with the eyes of experience. I guess, Tracy stammered. Then I asked myself, why was I so thick-headed that I refused to listen to them? How could I be so full of myself to believe that I was the only one who had ever experienced this? Tracy backed away slightly as the person stamped the cane on the ground. So, do you know what I did? I looked out of my box and tried to see it through another's eyes. Once I did that, I saw that my box was not the safe, comfortable box I pretended it was. It was awash in a sea of turmoil, surrounded by creatures preparing to devour everything in me they could. How had I let this happen? But even more, how was I to get out? I could not simply climb out and walk away. If I tried, I was afraid And how could I ask for help? It was bad enough I allowed myself to be trapped in the box. Now, if I asked for help, then I would prove all those others right and show I could not do things on my own. So what did you do? Tracy asked, wide-eyed. Do? I did the only thing I could do. I put aside my pride and fears. I climbed out of the box as far as my strength would take me and called to my friends and family to pull me the rest of the way. Did it hurt? Yes, child, it did. At the time, I thought it was the most painful thing I ever felt. At the edge of the box, there were spikes I had never noticed before, and one stabbed me straight through the heart. Another caught onto my chest, tearing off a large chunk and leaving a gaping hole. The pain was unbelievable. I cried for days. I never thought it would end. But I went on. My family and friends were there through it all. None of them pointed or laughed, but instead they held out their arms and surrounded me with comfort. They did what they could to help me heal and continue. I don't want to feel that kind of pain, Tracy said, looking at the sharp points slowly emerging. One does, child. And there are those who cannot handle it. Some will feel the pain and will end their lives, foolishly believing that it will never pass. Some will return to their box or seek out another box quickly, hoping to fill the void left within. There are those who will be scarred and will avoid all boxes, fearful of knowing the pain once more. And then there are those that will learn from the box. They will see the box for what it truly was, simply a box. They will seek out another box, but they will know better what they seek, and they will search for it. They do not look for perfection, for that does not exist. But they will also not accept just any box. It will be a box that seems to be made for them, but still needs work. A box they seem to be made to fit into with only slight adjustments. A box they can accept for what it is, and feel no need to drastically alter it. Eyes were closed, as if the memories had taken a great amount of energy with them. Tracy looked around at the box and then carefully peered over the side. Tracy never realized how small and rusty the box was. It sat partially on rocks, with the other side precariously balancing off a high cliff, tilting this way and that. Tracy finally admitted that this was not the right box. Tracy looked at the person and asked, "Will you help me out of my box?" The old person looked at Tracy and pondered. "I can only help you so far. You must do much of the work. Of course, there are others better suited to aiding you. You need but to call to them, and they will come." Tracy moved to the side of the box and felt the spikes. "It hurts. It truly does." "Yes, my child, but better the short-lived, sharp pain now than the eternal dull pain of staying." Tracy reached out to the old person. Grasping hands, they looked into each other's eyes. "Are you ready, child?" "I don't know, but I don't want to stay." "Then you are ready." And with that, they both pulled.